We are here today to review the basic protocol for pre-race veterinary examinations for the National Steeplechase Association for horses running over jumps at their various meets. We would like all veterinarians to utilize the basic protocol. Obviously, there are always variations depending upon the logistics of the site at which you are examining. Today we're working in a shed row because the weather outside is inclement. We would prefer to have both a shed row phase of the exam as well as an outside exam. The first thing we want to do is to identify the horse. And Guillermo, would you roll his lip for us so we can check his tattoo? And we are reviewing that tattoo against the data sheet that we have. Now this is a good time to mention all the data that you are supplied prior to race day. You get the Encompass sheets with all the previous pre-race examination as well as how the horse finished. You also get the pre-race exam sheets from the NSA that denote what has happened to these horses in weeks past. Please make good use of that data because it will focus your examination and make it a whole lot easier for you as well as a lot more level playing field for the horses. We also, and this is an imported horse, so we also have the option to use a chip reader and come up with the microchip that is available to be used. Some chip readers do not read every European chip that comes in, but it is a very good technique to identify the horse, and particularly for the ones that are resistant to using rolling the lip. We want to identify the horse, and then we want to stand back and kind of look at the horse in its entirety. Now in a shed row, that's not possible, so we're going to have to do that when we take him out. But our technique is one of palpation, particularly of the front limbs and minimally on the hind limbs. So we want to make sure that we go down the front limbs of each, palpating the soft tissue structures. As you know, the most common injuries that we get in jump racing are soft tissue. That being tendons and suspensory ligament injuries. So we want to palpate those carefully. We want to do passive flexion of the lower limb, both sides. And we want to carefully take a look at the feet. Sometimes when the horse is presented at a pre-race examination, the shoe will have been partially sprung on the van that's shipping in. And most of these horses, of course, have just come off the van, have gone into the stables, and now they're being examined. We also want to look at the hind limbs, particularly for any cuts, wounds, or abrasions. And we're not palpating like we do with the front limbs, but we do want to pick them up, make sure that everything is comfortable. Once we have gone through our palpations, we want to see the horse move. Now, in the shed row, we're going to see him jog straight away and come back. If we're outside, we want to be able to see him from the side. Even in the shed row, if we're looking at one in the shed row, we want to stand back and see him from the side. Ideally, we would have two veterinarians, one looking straight on, one from the side. If we only have one examiner, then we watch him go away on a straight line and come back from the lateral view. Guillermo, can you try him down and away? Good. Very good. Okay, we're basically looking for any asymmetry that we think is significant. And that could be generally a grade 3 lameness up front is going to be one that we don't want to see running. Behind, some of them will start off with a grade 3 and proceed as they warm up to work out of it. If a horse comes in and is lame on the pre-race examination, we want to ask them to go walk, warm up, and then come back before we make any final decisions. So ask a horse to warm up, ask the trainer, the handler, go take him off, walk him for 20 minutes and bring him back. Many times these horses have just come off the van, they're a little bit stove up or stiff, and they walk completely out of it. If there's suspicion and if there is still lameness on the second examination, always best to have a colleague with you so that you both confer as to whether or not the lameness is significant enough that the horse shouldn't run. We are here to protect the horse. The horse is our mission, not to fill races, but we want to be fair to the horse, we want to be fair to the owner and the trainer, but we're here to protect the horse. If the horse warms out of it behind, most of these horses, older horses, will warm up pretty doggone well. Up front, if we see a head nodding lameness, then we probably don't want that horse running. This initiates a conversation. The conversation is with the examining veterinarian and the trainer before you go to the stewards. Explain what you're doing, explain what you see. Many times the trainers say, good, thank you for picking that up. There'll be other times they'll be a little bit contentious, but it's not meant to be that way. Do not get in an argument, state what you see and what your findings reveal, and protect the horse.